In the northernmost reaches of the Atlantic, winter never truly ends. Ice-cold winds sweep across a restless ocean, and steel-gray waves rise and fall like the heaving breath of a giant. Into this vast, unpredictable world, the fishing vessel Titan Sea advances with deliberate purpose, forged for conflict with the wildest waters on Earth. The crew awakens long before sunrise. Their movements are slow but practiced, shaped by years of exposure to bitter cold and unforgiving seas. Frost glitters on their jackets, and the deck vibrates faintly as the engines surge to full power. Out here, the day begins in darkness, and danger is the first thing that greets them. The horizon shows no sign of land, no shelter, no boundary. The only constants are the wind, the cold, and the deep. Every tool on board, from reinforced steel hooks to hydraulic cranes, exists because nature demands it. Without such equipment, the ocean would crush human effort within minutes. Beneath the waves lies their target, the Atlantic bluefin tuna, one of the fastest and strongest fish in the world. With torpedo-shaped bodies and the muscle density of marine predators, these giants move in migrating schools that cover thousands of miles each year. The fishermen track them using radar, instinct, and a lifetime of reading the sea. When the equipment drops into the dark water, the vessel transforms into a machine of tension. Steel cables spool out in long spirals, vanishing into the depths. The crew braces themselves against the biting wind as the boat drifts over unseen life, suspended between sky and abyss. The first strike arrives violently. A surge of weight hits the line, bending metal, straining winches, and filling the air with the grinding friction of machinery meeting raw power. A hooked tuna fights with astonishing intensity, its entire body becoming a coil of resistance against the pull of the vessel. The fish dives, pulling line at a speed that threatens to overheat the winch. Water bursts upward as the line slices through the surface. Spray covers the deck and soaks the fishermen, but no one breaks formation. Each movement is coordinated, each action essential to wresting a giant from the sea. When the tuna finally breaks the surface, its size becomes undeniable. Silver skin flashes like polished metal, muscles ripple beneath it, and every thrash sends jets of water arching across the deck. Its power speaks of a life lived in the open ocean, shaped by relentless movement and survival. The crane extends, hooks secure. Slowly, the animal rises from the sea, suspended in midair. Even lifeless, its weight bends the steel frame slightly. The deck receives it with a heavy thud, a physical reminder of the struggle just endured. No victory celebrations follow, only the steady preparation to hunt again. The weather shifts as the day progresses. Clouds thicken into bruised layers, and the wind begins to carve ridges into the water's surface. The crew adjusts their routine accordingly, knowing that the sea is entering a more volatile phase. Every minute of relative calm is an opportunity that cannot be wasted. fin rises from the water. Tall, black, silent, a great white shark. Its path arcs around the vessel, its presence influencing the movement of every current nearby. This is not a fish driven by instinct alone, but a creature designed over millions of years to dominate the ocean's hierarchy. The shark engages with the bait, and the lines recoil instantly. The winch strains beyond typical limits, and the deck vibrates as if another engine were running beneath the boards. The animal dives straight downward, forcing steel to groan under the weight of the encounter. The surface erupts as the shark twists into view, its white belly slashing the water apart. Each movement of its tail is a whip of deadly force. The fishermen counter its movements using leverage, angle, and endurance, a battle of physics and timing rather than aggression. As the struggle continues, droplets of seawater and blood mix on the deck. The shark's massive body gradually loses its explosive strength. When it is lifted from the water, the full scale of the animal becomes apparent. Thick skin bearing scars of past battles, jaws that could sever bone in a heartbeat, and a body as long as a small vehicle. Its weight presses the deck downward, and for a moment, everything grows quiet. The encounter is not triumph, but reminder that the sea contains predators capable of shattering the illusion of human control at any moment. The day drifts toward dusk. The light dims into a steel blue gloom. Radar sweeps the waves with rhythmic pulses. Something unusual appears, a signal larger than any shark or tuna. Slow, steady, enormous. The vessel moves closer, guided by currents that seem almost reverent. From the depths, a shape ascends. Massive, gentle, ancient. A gray whale breaches the surface, water cascading down its barnacle-covered back. Its blow sends a column of mist skyward, tinted gold by the fading light. The ship suddenly feels small, weightless, insignificant. The whale's calm movements contrast sharply with the violent encounters of the day. It glides through the water with the grace of a drifting continent, unbothered by the presence of the vessel. Its silhouette is a living relic, a surviving piece of natural history older than nations and empires. The whale circles once, then dives. Its descent is slow, elegant. The water folds over its body like a curtain, sealing its disappearance. The encounter leaves the deck silent. Even though the mission is fishing, moments like these shake the human spirit in ways few experiences can. Darkness settles across the ocean. The temperature drops sharply, and the wind begins to howl across the open water. Swells form quickly, rising from gentle waves into towering walls. The storm arrives with no hesitation, unleashing the full force of the North Atlantic. The vessel ascends steep waves and then plummets down their backs. Water pours across the deck, flooding the floor and slamming loose equipment sideways. Lightning briefly illuminates the chaos, turning the ocean surface into a field of boiling silver. The storm rages for hours. Every crash of water shakes the hull. Every gust of wind bends the masts, and every second tests the engineering that keeps humans afloat. The crew works without pause, securing gear, tying down chains, and fighting both exhaustion and nature's assault. Dawn reveals a transformed world. The sky glows orange. The air hangs heavy with the smell of salt and diesel. Debris litters the deck, ropes tangled, crates moved from their places, and equipment dripping with seawater. The ocean, moments ago furious, now mirrors the color of dawn in soft, shifting tones. Among the wreckage lie the results of the previous day's effort. Tuna stacked like polished metal sculptures, swordfish arranged in neat rows, smaller sharks preserved in frost. Each fish represents a story of conflict battles against nature, against exhaustion, against uncertainty. The documentary tone sharpens. The narrator describes how modern fishing is a unique intersection of endurance and risk. Harvesting from the ocean requires a delicate equilibrium between demand and conservation, between livelihood and ecological awareness. Nothing about it is simple. Everything about it is consequential. For the fishermen, the rhythm of return brings reflection. Their bodies bear the marks of labor, bruises from sliding equipment, cuts from frayed ropes, burns from cold metal. Yet their expressions remain steady, hardened by a profession that demands resilience above all else. The work pace slows. Nets are repaired for the next journey. Hooks are cleaned, sharpened, sorted. Coil after coil of rope is stacked neatly. The ship becomes quieter, more contemplative, as if preparing itself for the next inevitable challenge. When land finally appears, its outline looks unreal, softened by distance and haze. The harbor grows closer. The sounds of gulls replace the endless roar of waves. The smell of salt air shifts subtly, carrying traces of earth and industry. After days of confrontation with one of the harshest environments on Earth, the fishermen step onto land with unsteady legs. Some walk toward waiting families, others toward quiet rooms where exhaustion will finally be allowed to settle. But all of them carry the unmistakable mark of having battled giants. The narrator shifts into a broader perspective. Fishing, at this scale, is not merely industry. It is a relationship between humanity and nature, ancient, complex, and fraught with consequences. The ocean provides, but never without reminding those who depend on it that its power outweighs human ambition. The documentary returns to the sea one last time. Aerial shots capture the vastness of the Atlantic, its surface rippling like the muscles of a living creature. Deep below, unseen giants continue their journeys. Bluefin tuna racing along migratory routes, sharks patrolling invisible territories, whales singing songs older than memory. The vessel's wake disappears quickly as it leaves the harbor again. smaller than a grain of salt against the ocean's surface. Its passage leaves no scar, no evidence of its battle against the giants below. The sea absorbs everything: sound, light, movement, triumphs, and failures. The final narration settles into a profound calm. The ocean remains the world's last frontier, a place where humanity's oldest instincts meet nature's most formidable forces. The fishermen who brave these waters stand in a lineage stretching back millennia, bound by the same needs, the same dangers, the same awe. The documentary concludes with a final truth. The ocean does not grant victories. It grants chances, fleeting, hard-won, and never guaranteed. Those who venture into its depths do so knowing that survival itself is an achievement. The screen fades into the horizon. The Ocean Giants, a story of strength, danger, and the eternal conflict between humankind and the deep.